In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to navigate in 3D within SketchUp. This is a crucial skill to master as it helps you move around your models smoothly and efficiently. The three main tools we use to navigate in 3D are Zoom, Orbit, and Pan. And there are two ways that you can use these tools. First is by clicking on the tool button itself to activate, which you will find in your toolbar at the top or in your large tool set on your left, if you have that up. Now, the other option is by using your 3-button scroll mouse, which is my preference. Okay, so let's get started. First, let's talk about Zoom. You can use the Zoom tool from the toolbar, or you can type Z to activate the shortcut. You can hover over your tools to find the Zoom tool. So it is just this magnifying glass here, and when you hover, it says Zoom, and it gives you a little tip on how to use it. So click on that tool, and it'll bring up your magnifying glass. Now I've just got mine a little bit larger than normal so that you guys can see the tool that is being used. To zoom within the Zoom tool, you just left click and move your mouse forward and backward. Forward and backward. So what you'll notice is that this is actually zooming on the center of your screen. And you just release your click to get out of the function. So have a play with that by clicking on different places in your model, zooming in, out, and release. Zoom in, out, and release. So now you're going to hit escape, and this will get you out of the Zoom tool. And I'm going to show you how to zoom by using your 3-button mouse, which is my favorite way to use the zoom. And that is simply by scrolling with your middle scroll button in or out. And what you'll notice the difference is here is it's actually, rather than zooming on the center of your screen, it is zooming on the point that your cursor is. So wherever I zoom in and out, it's going to zoom in on that point where my cursor is on the screen. So definitely go around, play with zooming around using the tool up at the top. You can hit Z to activate the zoom tool, or you can simply scroll in and out with your 3-button mouse. Okay, next up is Orbit. So the Orbit tool, you can either select from the toolbar, and that is this button here. So it's a line with an arrow that is circling around it. So you can see Orbit pops up, and if you just click on that, that brings up your Orbit tool. So to orbit, you would just click and drag your mouse from left to right, up or down, and you are orbiting around that model. And you can just release and click a new point to continue orbiting. Click, rotate, release, click, rotate, release. Now, if you hit escape to exit the Orbit tool, my favorite way to orbit is simply by holding down the center scroll mouse button, which brings up the Orbit tool. So if you click and hold that and start moving your mouse, that is also orbiting. So practice zooming around this model, or orbiting rather, and try combining it with the zoom tool. So I'm going to zoom out, then I'm going to orbit. I'm going to zoom in, then I'm going to orbit. And there you have it. Next, we are going to talk about pan. So to pan, you can either click the pan tool at the top of your toolbar, which is this button here. It's just a hand with 2 arrows side to side. The shortcut for that is randomly H, so you can hit H, and that brings up your pan tool. Now the pan tool is to move side to side without moving around like the orbit tool, or up and down. Now, if you would rather use the scroll mouse than the actual button, we'll just hit escape and I will show you how to do that. So just like you would go to orbit, you hold down your center scroll mouse button to bring up the orbit tool, keep holding, now hit shift on your keyboard and start moving your mouse back and forth. So you're holding both the scroll mouse button and shift at the same time, and you are panning around the model. So at this point, I suggest that you play around with both zoom, pan, and orbit, switching between the 3. And just to recap, we have zoom, which is the scroll wheel in the center of your mouse, or you can press Z to activate the tool, or you can click on the button at the top. Now for orbit, you click and hold the scroll wheel, or you can press O, or activate the button at the top. Now to pan, you click and hold the scroll wheel plus the shift key, or you can press H as your shortcut, or you can hit the tool at the top of your toolbar.